Nā mihi kia kaipau I tēnei wā pauri I Ingarangi nei. Kia ora from London, a city right now waking up to lockdown as the massive operation gets into full swing for the Queen's final farewell. London's heaving with people, more than 1 million expected to pack the streets around me here for the biggest global event in decades. Billions across the globe are also expected to watch the live broadcast. And just hours away from the service, the royal family's released a new photo of Queen Elizabeth II. The image of Her Majesty smiling, taken to mark her Platinum Jubilee, 70 years as monarch. We have extensive coverage tonight and right throughout the evening. The One News team stationed at the main vantage points to bring you the very latest. We begin with Europe correspondent May Heron and the final preparations.
A moment of reflection. Workplaces, public spaces, churches across the UK silent for Her Majesty the Queen. Quiet, a rarity in London this week.
Around and then you can cross over and then come around this way. Can we keep this area clear, please?
As London police face their biggest operation in history, the central city closed off to traffic. 36 kilometres of barrier walls brought in for crowd control.
We've got an enormous operation building that's been many, many years in the planning.
The so-called Elizabeth line to see the Queen lying in state, turning into lines along the street for a view of the procession.
Packed for the kids, made sure he's got his blanket, his night socks, his pyjamas. We've got sandwiches, crisps, drinks, water, laptop, iPhone, everything.
11-year-old Harvey joining hundreds staying overnight.
It's so like camping, and I've never been camping before.
People have been arriving all morning to set up. For them, it's their final chance to get a glimpse of the Queen on her final journey.
Such a lovely person, I love her so much.
But even if it takes more than 14 hours, it was just worth it, really.
But time ran out for some. The queue to see the Queen lying in state cut off late last night. These mourners among the last to view her coffin.
I thought I would regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't come, and I tried to persuade the rest of the family. They thought I was mad. They thought I wouldn't make the back of the queue. But have I? I think I have.
On the eve of his mother's funeral, the King said he'd been deeply touched by global messages of condolence, saying, as we prepare to say our last farewell, thank you to all those countless people who've been such a support and comfort to my family and myself in this time of grief.
She's been our Queen for a long time and she served us well.
Hundreds of thousands of people united in mourning their one Queen. The royal family releasing this previously unseen portrait as they and the world prepare to say goodbye.
And here to say farewell in person, our Prime Minister and a diverse group of New Zealanders representing Aotearoa at Her Majesty's funeral. Also here, the One News team, Joy Reid at Windsor, Daniel Faitawa at Hyde Park and May Heron at Westminster. Let's check in first with May. Just under 4 hours before the service, May. The guests are expected to arrive there a lot earlier, aren't they?
Yes, Melissa, it's all a very tightly controlled operation. The doors to Westminster Abbey will open 3 hours before the funeral starts. That's when about 2,000 people will be allowed, and 500 of those are world leaders, prime ministers, presidents, as well as royal family members from around the world. Now, because it's such a tightly controlled operation, things are planned to the minute, and so it's expected that these foreign dignitaries will be allowed in via a bus. That's all except US President Joe Biden. He gets his own car.
And May, can you tell us who will be joining the procession of the Queen's coffin to Westminster Abbey?
There'll be 3 generations following the Queen. You've got her children, including the King and Queen Consort, and then her grandchildren as well, including the Prince and Princess of Wales, that's William and Kate, as well as 2 of their children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Now, Louis, the youngest, he won't be there. Many people remember that he really stole the show with his antics at his great-grandmother's 70th Jubilee earlier this year, but at just 4 years old, he's probably considered just too young for this event.
Yes, and can you just give us a bit of a picture of what's happening around you now?
Yeah, so there are dozens of media here at the moment. You can see just on the lawn that I am on, cameras have been set up and they've been here all morning. It's been incredible to just walk past and just hear the different languages. There are so many of them. This truly is a global event. It's expected up to 4 billion people worldwide will be tuning in to watch the Queen's